Let's say you're reading an article and you come across a word you don't know. It would be really nice to really quickly see a definition of that word. Well, let's get an extension that lets us do that. I'm going to hit Control T for a new tab, and let's go to the Chrome Web Store, and I'm going to search for an extension called Google Dictionary. Here it is. We can look at it, and I'm going to add to Chrome, add extension. And now, when I double-click a word, I think I have to refresh the page first for it to take effect. Now when I double-click that word, it pops up a nice little definition for me. And you can also check on words in the definition itself. A nice little tool. So I'm reading this article and I really hate the way every time I scroll down, it's very jumpy. It makes me lose my place a little bit. So we're going to fix that with an extension from the Chrome Web Store. It's called Smooth Scroll. This one here from smoothscroll.net. Add extension. And now when I scroll, it's a very nice fluid motion. Very pleasant. Let's say I'm looking for a photo of a tiger, but I hate having to click each one that I want to make bigger so I can get a closer look at it. So there's an extension we can use to fix that. It's called Hover Zoom. So we're going to search for Hover Zoom. There it is. And now I'm going to refresh this page. Let's close that. And whenever I hover over an image, it automatically brings up the full size of the image. It's very nice. It's also very handy on Facebook albums or your news feed or wherever you're using it, any place that has an image on the web. And when you hover over it, it shows you the full image instead of just the little area that the thumbnail shows you. Very useful. Quite frequently, it would be really nice to just add something to my calendar very quickly. Maybe it's from an email, or perhaps I'm a member of the volleyball team Spiked Kool-Aid and I would like to add my next game to my calendar so I don't forget to go. Well, it'd be really cool if I could just highlight this and I have some sort of add to calendar option. That is what we are going to give ourselves with the Google Calendar extension. So I'm going to search for calendar. We want the one from Google. I'm going to add to Chrome. And now if I go back over here, and let's just highlight this whole event at 7 p.m. on the 8th of March. Now I have an add to Google Calendar option. So I click it and it's pretty smart. See, it put the text here as the title, Mangoes versus Spiked Kool-Aid. Here's where it came from. And the event is at 7 p.m. and it guessed that it's about an hour. And that's probably about correct. And I have very quickly added that to my calendar so I won't forget. I also wanted to show you how smart it is. Here I've emailed myself, hey, can you meet with us for a volleyball match this coming Thursday at noon? So I'm just going to highlight, let's say I'm going to highlight all of this. And I'm going to click Add to Google Calendar. And it's very smart. Notice it's noon. And I said this coming Thursday. And if you look at the date, that is in fact this coming Thursday. It's very cool. Nice little tool. Nice time-saving strategy. If you're like me, when you're using Chrome, you have at least 10 to 15 tabs open. And that uses quite a bit of memory from your computer, and that's memory that can't be used for whatever tab you're currently on. So even in the background, they're eating up lots of memory. And also, whenever you scroll on Facebook or any news site, I guess, if you can call Facebook a news site, it also eats up your memory because everything that you've scrolled past is still loaded into memory. So if you watch as you scroll, your memory usage is just going to grow and grow and grow. So there's a nice tool to help us manage all the tabs that we're not currently using. And it's called the Great Suspender. I'm going to add it to Chrome. And what this does is if you don't interact with a tab for whatever length of time you specify, let's say an hour, it will automatically suspend that tab for you. That's like pushing the pause button on it. It doesn't close it, but it will no longer consume the massive amounts of memory that it was just sitting in the background. So let's save the settings, and I'll show you what kind of difference it can make if we temporarily suspend this page here. So we're at 47% memory usage now. I'm going to suspend this tab, and wow, we just dropped 5% memory usage. Granted, I was scrolling for quite a while, and it's pretty easy to bring it back. All you have to do is click, and it will reload that page you were on. A nice tool so that your memory gets used for tasks you're actually working on. I often find it very frustrating when I try to click on an email address to send an email and it just hangs and does absolutely nothing. It's because it's trying to use an email client that I have installed, but I have no email client installed. So we're going to fix this problem with an extension from Google called Send from Gmail. And once I add that to Chrome, now let's try to click this. Oops, I need to refresh the page for the new extension. Now when I click it, that is handled really nicely in our new tab. Whenever you make a new tab in Chrome, it looks pretty boring, right? So we're going to fix that. We're going to use an extension from Google called the Google Art Project. And now whenever we hit Control T or create a new tab, keep changes, it'll show us whatever the picture of the day is. I'm not sure how often it changes actually, but it's much prettier. I often find myself working very late at night, and if you're looking at a screen like this window, it's very white. It's quite harsh in this dark room. Also, if you're on a laptop, this white light uses much more of your battery than the black screen would. So we're going to use an extension to manage this, and it's called High Contrast. It's from Google. Oops. Ooh. So now, there we go. It turns itself on by default, but here's the normal look. And now we can click this little bubble over here and enable it, and it's not so bright. This is much more manageable. And we have some other options. There's normal mode, inverted colors, and that kind of looks like your old CRT monitor is broken. Alright, thanks for watching. If I left any extensions out, please let me know in the comments below, and be sure to check out my other video on how to use Chrome like a pro.